31-year-old Tiffany Meek, the mother, is charged for murder, defeating the end of justice, crime and injuria, and obstructing the course of justice. This is in relation to her own son. That is so sad.
One suspect has been arrested in connection with the murder of 11-year-old Jayden Lee Meek. The suspect is said to be a close relative of the victim, who was found dead on the staircase of the apartment block where he lived. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Crime Science and thank you so much for clicking on this video. I'm trying out a different format to be able to also keep you up to date with current case updates. These will be shorter videos, so please let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Don't worry, I will still do regular deep dives where we discuss the true crime cases in detail. Please hit the like button if you like this type of content. Also, remember to subscribe. It's absolutely free and would help this channel so much. Switch on that notification bell to be notified of any updates. So, now that an arrest has been made and we know that the person arrested for the murder of Jayden Lee Meek is his own mother, we can take a moment to go back to the interview ENCA had with her back in May 2025, not long after his body was found at the staircase, only a few meters away from their place of residence. Look closely and see if you can spot any signs of guilt you may have missed back then.
At the back of my mind, it was always he was going to return home. It didn't hit me until I received the phone call the next day to say, come home, your child has been found. And that's when we then rushed down to my place of residence.
So you were not home at that moment?
No, I had spent the night at my mother's place because my mother didn't want to leave me alone.
What do you make of police's handling of investigations?
It's been garbage. Sorry, mind my language. Jayden Lee is an 11-year-old child. I went to the police station past 7 o'clock and they took forever to write a statement with me. They kept on asking me, oh, could it not be the father? Let's try the grandfather again, let's do that. And in all that time, as I'm writing that, I'm telling you, I stay in a certain place and these people are saying that they dropped off my child at that place. Are you not supposed to? This is a child. It's not a grown person. It's not a teenager that could have run away. This is a child. He's under 13 years old and you didn't dispatch anybody.
Do you feel police have been negligent or pointing fingers at the wrong people?
Extremely negligent, because we were escorted by a number of policemen. Two fled off, and not one of them got out of that vehicle to go and search that complex. How much time had lapsed? There's bushes behind there. How much time had lapsed and what could have been done in that time?
So, the first thing that stood out to me was that Tiffany touched her head and nose as soon as she spoke about not sleeping in her own flat the very night she reported her son missing. Go and look at the interview again if you missed it. Although we don't see her the whole interview due to extra clips being added, what we can see is that her hands are on her lap the whole time, except for when she's talking about the police being negligent. But then she used her left hand but didn't touch any of her own body parts. Does it mean anything if she touched her head and nose? No, not necessarily, but it stood out to me so much that I want to find out more about where she slept, and if not at her own house, why? I mean, your child is missing. Where would he go first if it was a scenario where he was abducted and could escape? So, Tiffany said that she slept at her mother's place, but Jayden James, a member of the National Assembly and activist, said the following.
The fact that Jayden Lee Meek's body was found warm the next morning tells me that he was in that flat.
So now we can ask the question, did she really sleep at her mother's place? If so, someone else must have committed the murder because, like Jayden James said, Jayden Lee's body was still warm when he was found. Or she's lying about where she was that night. And if she's lying, is her mother part of the lie?
Let's take a listen again to where Tiffany said she was.
And that's when we then rushed down to my place of residence.
So you were not home at that moment?
No, I had spent the night at my mother's place because my mother didn't want to leave me alone.
I'm also not the only one that thinks that there are other people involved. Take a listen at what Polo Poshilo, the Deputy Minister of Police, had to say.
In this matter, we cannot rule out the possibility of more arrests.
And then take a listen at what she had to add about Tiffany's mother. She didn't come out and say directly, but you can clearly hear that her feelings toward Tiffany's mother is not a positive one.
But the mother also pretended that, he was a victim and all those kind of things.
Tiffany was in her interview with ENCA very clear that she was not happy with the police during the time she reported her son missing. And when they escorted her home afterwards, she clearly tried to direct attention away from herself by shining the spotlight on them, accusing them of not doing their work.
We were escorted by a number of policemen, two fled off, and not one of them got out of their vehicle to go and search that complex. How much time had lapsed? There's bushes behind there. How much time had lapsed and what could have been done in that time?
But what is said now is that Tiffany didn't want the police to search her flat. Is that true? A lady like Dereline James wouldn't have any reason to lie about that.
Don't search my flat. That should have been a tip-off. That should have told them there's something happening in this flat.
And I agree fully with her statement. If they only took a walk through, they probably would have found Jayden Lee still alive. Are they even allowed to enter the flat if Tiffany doesn't give them permission to enter? Please, anyone with knowledge about this, comment below if the police had the right to enter the flat without permission if they suspected foul play inside. But then again, Tiffany probably didn't even give them reason to be suspicious of her. I think it should become standard to immediately search the place of residence of the child reported missing. It's way too often that the person or persons harming the child is living with them.
Those that were meant to protect a minor would actually open down and break down those doors. We failed Jayden Lee Meek as a community. We failed Jayden Lee Meek even as SAPS.
Well, this is how far I'm going to take it for this video, with the following question still stuck in my head. Where was Tiffany that night of the 13th of May 2025? What time she arrived if she went to her mother's place? And how much did her mother know before the arrest? Were there any warning signs at all? Thanks again for taking the time to watch my video. Remember to like, share and subscribe. There will be a few parts where I will be talking about the first interview, so keep an eye out for that. In the next video, I will be spending time on how Tiffany actually did a very poor job on trying to redirect the spotlight, not only on the police, but also on the scholar transport driver. Until next time, bye.